what I said to Leon was he's lost that like natural streets of Seville type play where you just like kind of off the off whatever you can think of, like off you just come up with whatever you can think of on the fly. Now it's just very systematic, very robotic, play pass lateral, get it back, play pass through. Like I kind of miss the old Ceballos.
Different roles too. I mean, with Betis and the Euro 21 team, he was allowed to do things he's not allowed to do at Arsenal, and things like incisive, mazy runs with the ball at his feet, breaking into the final third. Like at Arsenal, like he just doesn't really join the attack. Like in transition, he's asked to hedge deep. Like Newcastle was an exception to that rule, where, as you mentioned, El Neni was kind of that guy who would sit deeper. And I mean, part of the reason why they couldn't punish that also was because Newcastle are just so bad offensively. But yeah, different roles. So I think there's an alternate reality here, by the way, where if Ceballos just continues to be in the team at Real Madrid and Lopetegui doesn't get fired, he has a more prominent role. Like there were performances under Lopetegui where Ceballos still had that, right? Where he was like a funnel in possession. He was more dominant on the ball, using his vision, because that was one of the things that to me has evaporated really in this Arsenal stint is his vision. Like he would play passes that like no one else could see in the stadium but him. He would do that a lot in the Euros. But it's, I hope that he recovers. But a lot of these players in the U21 team that I was high on just really haven't panned out. It's funny, sent me this video that the Ringer did back in 2019 where they all sit in this like parody. It's like they all sit in this room. It's like this parody of Alcoholics Anonymous where they all go through and they talk very seriously about the players that they had hyped up in the past that didn't pan out, and they're like grieving over it and they pass the mic. I thought it would be hilarious if we did one of those for like Vallejo, for Ceballos, where like I just sit in the corner. I'm like, I used to believe that Ceballos would be one of the best players in the world, or like Odriozola would be a good one too, where we just kind of go through and do that, and we kind of cry over all these players we hyped up that didn't pan out. Ceballos, I don't know where the next step is for him. I mean, he also had said this week, I think it was, or I don't know if he said it or if someone reported it. Maybe you would remember better than I. Maybe you can post the report on Manju, I'm not sure. But that he's going to not return to Arsenal. He's going to come back to Real Madrid, which really that just means that he'll come back to Real Madrid only to sort out his future. So,
yeah.
Do you think that Arsenal is a place for him that he should return for his career, or he should go and look elsewhere? Because at Arsenal, at least he's playing. But do you think that there's a better situation for him?
I mean, I don't know. It's hard. I would like to see him back in Spain. I think just although La Liga has become a lot more pragmatic, if you can find a team, maybe even like Villarreal, it's kind of a mix of both. Emery obviously really liked him prior, or back home at Real Betis. I mean, they're playing really well again under Pellegrini. So there's different places in La Liga. I could see him Sevilla even. Those are all. He would never go to Sevilla though because of his ties to Betis. But I mean, those are all like the style and the type I could see him meshing in well. Maybe better playing to his abilities than being kind of this robotic player in Arsenal's system. But just kind of back on the topic of the U21. I mean, I think that's hilarious, and two, I was actually talking to one of my friends about because we're actually talking about Ceballos because he's an Arsenal fan, and he's been a little disappointed himself. And we were talking about how he was so good in both times in the Euro U21 because he played in that tournament twice and was twice the best player. And it's just sometimes I think we have to recognize that the gap between the U21 level, even at that international level, and the big time is still a massive, massive gap.
Well, I actually think the Sevilla stint or the Sevilla idea is a perfect fit for him. Think about it.
I do too.
Like
It just sucks he would never do it.
maybe he would. I mean, it's a fair point to
No,
say
I've heard
that
him
he
in
would.
interviews. I've heard him in interviews. He would. He won't.
Things
He'll
change.
never go to Sevilla.
I think things change. I think like enough time passes, enough money gets thrown around. Lopetegui is there. Lopetegui loves Ceballos. You know, it'll like football just moves. Like who would have thought Inigo would go to Athletic Club? You know, from Real Sociedad.
Yeah.
You know, things like that happen. Who would have
We'll
thought
see.
Marcos
We'll see.
Llorente would have gone to Atletico Madrid with all his lineage and Gento and all those,
Yeah,
all
that's
the
true.
history.
That's true.